And yeah, so let's talk about the annotated bibliography. Now, I put the handout in your in the course documents folder. I would like for you to read them, of course. The annotated bibliography is a fairly short assignment. You should be able to finish it fairly quickly. It's really important, though, that you learn the skills of annotated bibliography, especially those of you who are going into master's programs or PhD programs. This is an essential skill set that I'm about to go over. Your assignment, first of all, this is attached to your final research project. Your final research project will be an argumentative essay that will use 6 to 8 secondary sources. We'll talk about that project in the next video. But for this, you're taking those 6 to 8 secondary sources and constructing a bibliography. Essentially, this is the works cited page, but with a little extra. I've included instructions on how to write the annotated bibliography, but essentially it's a list of citations. This is books, articles, documents of any kind. Each citation is followed by a 150-word descriptive and evaluative paragraph, which is the annotation. The purpose of the annotation is to not only inform the reader of the relevance, accuracy, and quality of the source cited, but also to summarize it, right? So it should follow a simple structure. Summary, and then maybe a brief explanation of how you're going to use it within your paper. What kind of purpose does it serve in the context of your final essay? I've given you an outline of the process on this handout. Creating an annotated bibliography calls for an application of a variety of intellectual skills: concise exposition, succinct analysis, and informed library research. First of all, the citations should be in the documentation style that you use in your discipline. And I'm actually going to create a forum tonight that's practically just going to be called "What's Your Documentation Style?" Some of you it's MLA, some of you it's APA, some of you it's Chicago, some of you God knows what, right? Now is the time to familiarize yourself with your documentation style. If you don't know, now is the time to learn. So that's why I'm creating the forum as a sort of, I don't know, support group, I guess, for those of you who are trying to figure out what your documentation style is. So please keep that in mind. That forum should be up shortly. So the first thing to do is just to construct the bibliography, collect the sources, create the bibliography like you would in any works cited page, and make sure your citation is immaculate. I am going to be counting off for any sort of egregious errors that you might have in your documentation. So make sure you look this up. And I would suggest 2 sources. The University of Purdue's website, if you just look that up, University of Purdue documentation. I'll put the link up shortly, but they have an excellent guide. And also, for those of you who would like to cheat a little bit, I would also recommend Citation Machine, which kind of does it for you. Now, I'm not going to begrudge you if you use this, and I'm not going to put my head under the sand and pretend that it doesn't exist. But I would also like to remind you that you need to have a working knowledge of this documentation style in order to correct the mistakes of the machine. As we have all learned, machines are not infallible, so make sure that you check this, double check your sources. Okay, make sure that this is single space, and this is the only assignment that will be single space. Times New Roman font, size 12 font, 1-inch margins. You know the drill. Make sure that you are summarizing, assessing, and reflecting each article. After you've made your bibliography, you're going to write about a paragraph underneath each one. And again, this is going to be giving the summarization an assessment of the work, and a reflection on how you are going to use it within that work. That's really it. This assignment shouldn't be longer than 2 or 3 pages. Whenever I was working on my master's degree, I had to create one that was about, oh my goodness, 6 or 7 pages. Yours should not be that long since it's only going to be 6 or 8 sources. So it shouldn't take a long time to finish, to complete. However, I would also like to encourage you to start working on your final paper, at least start doing the research, or brainstorming at least. For heaven's sakes, start now, because we don't have much time left in the semester, and it is a big project, and a big part of your grade, I might add. This is what everything we've done in this class is leading up towards. So what is the final project? Well, you'll have to wait for the next video and the next handout to find out. So that's pretty much it for this video. I should post the next video in a few minutes, so just patiently await for that. It shouldn't be very long. The next paper is pretty self-explanatory, but thought I'd go over a few points with it anyway. So go ahead and turn this video off and wait for the next one. Bye. Before we start that, I wanted to go into some... Thank you.